Please like the video and share it so that it reaches many more people and you get sawaba, or rewards from Allah. This could be a sawabe jariyah or continuous reward for you long after you are gone.
Volume 5, Book 59, number 372. Narrated by Al-Bara. Allah's Apostle sent Abdullah bin Atiq and Abdullah bin Utbah with a group of men to Abu Rafi, to kill him. They proceeded till they approached his castle, whereupon Abdullah bin Atiq said to them, "Wait here, and in the meantime I will go and see." Abdullah said later on, "I played a trick in order to enter the castle. By chance, they lost a donkey of theirs and came out carrying a flaming light to search for it. I was afraid that they would recognize me, so I covered my head and legs and pretended to answer the call to nature. The gatekeeper called, 'Whoever wants to come in, should come in before I close the gate.' So I went in and hid myself in a stall of a donkey near the gate of the castle. They took their supper with Abu Rafi and had a chat till late at night. Then they went back to their homes. When the voices vanished and I no longer detected any movement, I came out. I had seen where the gatekeeper had kept the key of the castle in a hole in the wall. I took it and unlocked the gate of the castle, saying to myself, 'If these people should notice me, I will run away easily.' Then I locked all the doors of their houses from outside while they were inside, and ascended to Abu Rafi by a staircase. I saw the house in complete darkness with its light off, and I could not know where the man was. So I called, 'O Abu Rafi.' He replied, 'Who is it?' I proceeded towards the voice and hit him. He cried loudly, but my blow was futile. Then I came to him, pretending to help him, saying with a different tone of my voice, 'What is wrong with you, O Abu Rafi?' He said, 'Are you not surprised? Woe on your mother! A man has come to me and hit me with a sword.' So again I aimed at him and hit him, but the blow proved futile again, and on that Abu Rafi cried loudly and his wife got up. I came again and changed my voice as if I were a helper, and found Abu Rafi lying straight on his back, so I drove the sword into his belly and bent on it till I heard the sound of a bone break. Then I came out, filled with astonishment, and went to the staircase to descend. But I fell down from it and got my leg dislocated. I bandaged it and went to my companions limping. I said to them, 'Go and tell Allah's Apostle of this good news, but I will not leave this place till I hear the news of his, i.e. Abu Rafi's, death.' When dawn broke, an announcer of death got over the wall and announced, 'I convey to you the news of Abu Rafi's death.' I got up and proceeded without feeling any pain till I caught up with my companions before they reached the Prophet, to whom I conveyed the good news. Volume 5, Book 59, number 373. Narrated by Ibn Abbas. On the day of Uhud, the Prophet said, "This is Gabriel holding the head of his horse and equipped with war material." Volume 5, Book 59, number 374. Narrated by Uqba bin Amir. Allah's Apostle offered the funeral prayers of the martyrs of Uhud 8 years after their death, as if bidding farewell to the living and the dead. Then he ascended the pulpit and said, "I am your predecessor before you, and I am a witness on you, and your promised place to meet me will be Al-Hawd, i.e. the tank, on the day of resurrection, and I am, now, looking at it from this place of mine. I am not afraid that you will worship others besides Allah, but I am afraid that worldly life will tempt you and cause you to compete with each other for it. That was the last look which I cast on Allah's Apostle." Volume 5, Book 59, number 375. Narrated by Al-Bara. We faced the pagans on that day of the Battle of Uhud, and the Prophet placed a batch of archers at a special place, and appointed Abdullah bin Jabir as their commander and said, "Do not leave this place. And if you should see us conquering the enemy, do not leave this place. And if you should see them conquering us, do not come to help us." So, when we faced the enemy, They took to their heel till I saw their women running towards the mountain, lifting up their clothes from their legs, revealing their leg bangles. The Muslims started saying, "The booty, the booty." Abdullah bin Jabir said, "The Prophet had taken a firm promise from me not to leave this place." But his companions refused to stay. So when they refused to stay there, Allah confused them so that they could not know where to go. And they suffered 70 casualties. Abu Sufyan ascended a high place and said, "Is Muhammad present amongst the people?" The Prophet said, "Do not answer him." Abu Sufyan said, "Is the son of Abu Kafir present among the people?" The Prophet said, "Do not answer him." Abd Sufyan said, "Is the son of Al-Khattab amongst the people?" He then added, "All these people have been killed, for, were they alive, they would have replied." On that, Umar could not help saying, "You are a liar, O enemy of Allah. Allah has kept what will make you unhappy." Abu Sufyan said, "Superior may be Hubal." On that the Prophet said to his companions, "Reply to him." They asked, "What may we say?" He said, "Say, Allah is more elevated and more majestic." Abu Sufyan said, "We have the idol, Al-Uzza, whereas you have no Uzza." The Prophet said to his companions, "Reply to him." They said, "What may we say?" The Prophet said, "Say, Allah is our helper and you have no helper." Abu Sufyan said, "This day compensates for our loss at Badr, and in the battle, the victory is always undecided and shared in turns by the belligerents. You will see some of your dead men mutilated. But neither did I urge this action, nor am I sorry for it." Narrated Jabir. Some people took wine in the morning of the day of Uhud and were then killed as martyrs. Volume 5, Book 59, number 376. Narrated by Sa'd bin Ibrahim. A meal was brought to Abdurrahman bin Auf while he was fasting. He said, "Musab bin Umar was martyred, and he was better than I, yet he was shrouded in a burda, i.e. a sheet, so that if his head was covered, his feet became naked, and if his feet were covered, his head became naked." Abdurrahman added, "Hamza was martyred and he was better than one, then worldly wealth was bestowed upon us and we were given thereof too much. We are afraid that the reward of our deeds have been given to us in this life." Abdurrahman then started weeping so much that he left the food. Volume 5, Book 59, number 377. Narrated by Jabir bin Abdullah. On the day of the Battle of Uhud, a man came to the Prophet and said, "Can you tell me where I will be if I should get martyred?" The Prophet replied, "In paradise." The man threw away some dates he was carrying in his hand, and fought till he was martyred. Volume 5, Book 59, number 378. Narrated by Kabab bin al-Art. We migrated in the company of Allah's Apostle, seeking Allah's pleasure. So our reward became due and sure with Allah. Some of us have been dead without enjoying anything of their rewards here. And one of them was Musab bin Umar, who was martyred on the day of the Battle of Uhud, and did not leave anything except a namira, i.e. a sheet in which he was shrouded. If we covered his head with it, his feet became naked, and if we covered his feet with it, his head became naked. So the Prophet said to us, "Cover his head with it and put some idkir, i.e. a kind of grass, over his feet, or throw idkir over his feet. But some amongst us have got the fruits of their labor ripened, and they are collecting them." Narrated Anas. His uncle, Anas bin an-Nadr, was absent from the Battle of Badr, and he said, "I was absent from the first battle of the Prophet, i.e. Badr battle, and if Allah should let me participate in a battle with the Prophet, Allah will see how strongly I will fight." So he encountered the day of Uhud battle. The Muslims fled and he said, "O Allah, I appeal to you to excuse me for what these people i.e. the Muslims, have done. And I am clear from what the pagans have done. Then he went forward with his sword and met Sa'd bin Mu'adh, fleeing, and asked him, "Where are you going, O Sa'd?" "I detect a smell of paradise before Uhud." Then he proceeded on and was martyred. Nobody was able to recognize him till his sister recognized him by a mole on his body or by the tips of his fingers. He had over 80 wounds caused by stabbing, striking or shooting with arrows. Volume 5, Book 59, number 379. Narrated by Zayd bin Thabit. When we wrote the Holy Quran, I missed one of the verses of Surah Al-Ahzab which I used to hear Allah's apostle reciting. Then we searched for it and found it with Khuzaimah bin Thabit al-Ansari. The verse was, "Among the believers are men who have been true to their covenant with Allah. Of them, some have fulfilled their obligations to Allah, i.e. they have been killed in Allah's cause. And some of them are still waiting." 33.23. So we wrote this in its place in the Quran. Volume 5, Book 59, number 380. Narrated by Zayd bin Thabit. When the Prophet set out for the Battle of Uhud, some of those who had gone out with him returned. The companions of the Prophet were divided into two groups. One group said, "We will fight them, i.e. the enemy," and the other group said, "We will not fight them." So there came the divine revelation, "O Muslims, then what is the matter within you that you are divided into two parties about the hypocrites? Allah has cast them back to disbelief because of what they have earned." 4.88. On that, the Prophet said, "That is Taiba, i.e. the city of Medina, which clears one from one's sins as the fire expels the impurities of silver." Volume 5, Book 59, number 381. Narrated by Jabir. This verse, "When two of your parties almost decided to fall away," was revealed in our connection, i.e. Bani Salama and Bani Haritha, and I would not have liked it if it was not revealed, for Allah said, "But Allah was their protector." 3.122.